Yo, what's up? Y'all know some shit, right? Like, everybody here knows some shit. You there, boy, what day is it? See, he knows some shit. Knowledge is power. To know what you know and what you do not know is true knowledge. Is that confusing? No, it's Confucius. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. There. I just saved you a freshman year. You're welcome. Knowing shit is kind of what sets you apart from the most of the animal kingdom. That and taquitos. Which, by the way, we thank you for. Most of your Earthmates know the basics. If you're hungry, eat stuff. If you're cold, get warm. If you have to pee, get after it. You know, level 1 stuff. But you humans have a whole bunch of stuff you figured out that just baffle your fuzzy counterparts. You ever watch a cat figure out how a ball works? That cat just had all its facts figured out, and then you go and introduce something crazy into its base thinking. Now it's not just eating, snuggling, and peeing anymore. No! Now it's got to deal with round things roll. Congrats, you leveled up your cat. Your desk knickknacks will never be the same. Gaining knowledge doesn't mean you're smarter, by the way. It just means you got more options. You know more details. And like anyone who's ever dated a poli-sci major knows, just because you know some shit doesn't mean you know what the fuck to do with it. That dig, by the way, was the result of a PLOS study back in 2016 that found out of its group of 711 students, poli-sci majors had a 1.4 overconfidence rating above the average 1.44 level of overconfidence, figuring in the average illusory superiority, which is a condition of cognitive bias, in which the average person, quote, doesn't think they're the most beautiful, smart, or talented, but is fairly confident that they rank above average above everyone else. Because everyone's one Google search away from assuming they're the ultimate authority on shit and they should start a TikTok account. By the way, follow me on TikTok. Basically, you still all believe your own bullshit even though you know better. Me, I prefer Plato's Socrates quote, which is probably not actually something Socrates said, but it looks good on a dorm room poster. For I was conscious that I knew practically nothing. Either way, I'm drunk because I know shit and I'm doing something about it. But why do we need any knowledge at all? Why can't it just be needs? And why can't they just be my needs? Well, Junior, that's because of the great ultimate lesson of all things, which if all people on TikTok and in Congress would just accept things might be a little less intense so we can get back to snacks and progress, shit is complicated. Take anything you like. Look at that thing. That thing right there. You see it? Yeah? That's not as simple as you think it is. It's complicated. It has a history down to the tiny bits where Ant-Man and the Wasp live, apparently. No spoilers. Microcosmic, molecular, mighty, tiny town, I believe, is the preferred scientific name for it. But you can look it up later. But thanks to those smarter than you that study things down to the teenies, there's a fucking Scrooge McDuck cache silo of information out there at your fingertips, all because peoples are keeping track, which is great, because the rest of us don't want to keep track. I don't want to remember shit. I don't want to know the what, the why, though, until it's time I need to look it up. In which case, thank you to all of you that have indeed been keeping track, copy, pasting, and making it available to all of us. Aw, man, it's fucking empty. Well, this is going to be a rough ride. After a while, that database became a global network of interconnected computers and servers that communicate with each other using standardized protocols that you guys call the internet. Yeah, give it up for the internet, one guy. There's like one knit hat wearing fucking programmer, bro, that's like, yes, yes. It's a digital hive mind, like if bees and ants had Discord. P.S. Do not give bees and ants Discord. You want to end the world quick? That's the first thing to do. And it is from that wellspring has come your latest little brain machine, like a digital houseplant, into full view bloom, ChatGPT. Basically, it works like this, and forgive me if I can't remember what we were talking about. There's only so much room in my mind palace after the last shots. It's basically like a couch I'm squatting on in an abandoned metaphysical garden apartment. Back in 2015, a bunch of Silicon Valley bros, including the decorated captain of the Tweet-tanic, Elon Musk, developed OpenAI, which was, quote, a nonprofit focused on developing artificial intelligence in the way that is most likely to benefit humanity as a whole, according to a statement on OpenAI's website from December 11th, 2015. Basically, it was a fancy way of teaching computers to interact and communicate better with humans by sounding more like humans, which I think is irony. It might not be, though. Nobody knows what irony is. It was given to you by a really irritating lit major from another planet back in the BC times in an effort to cap how smart you can get. Scholars think anyway. For 7 years, OpenAI was training little computer brains to talk like something out of Stranger Things, except the soundtrack wasn't as good. Until 2022, when ChatGPT, or chat-generated pre-trained transformer on the street, was released to the public on November 30th, and it crashed the website because everybody wanted to talk to it, which I do believe is also irony, but I'm not thinking any harder about it because, like I was saying, that's the fail-safe reset wired into life that if you trip it, you'll revert to a vegetative state where you crave sweet heat Skittles and think Dane Cook is still funny. And that way lies madness. Now, what is a chatbot? You know how, like, you log into your Capital One account and you can't get in, no matter how sure you are that it's your password? Yes, you capitalized it. Yes, you put the question mark at the end. It's not your first fucking day. So you Google, who the fuck do I call? And you find a mysterious number behind the radiator on the internet. And then you call it, and you get this pleasant sounding voice that swears it's gonna help you. It just needs a few things first. Then it agrees with everything you say, but it needs you to hold on a second. And while it does, it needs to do more stuff. And though it's very polite, you start to wonder if maybe you've accidentally called a serial killer and have made a huge mistake. That is a voice bot. And a chat bot is the texty version of that you find on the Verizon help page. Chat bots and voice bots work about the same. Just like the voice bot has a very Dexter-like delivery, and chat bots seem like you're texting a friend, but they're not picking up on sarcasm or inside jokes, and you've seen enough horror movies to assume they might be a ghost, and now you're cursed. But more specifically, more complexually, a chat bot or chatterbot on the street is a software or computer program that simulates human conversation or chatter through text or voice interactions. Basically, it's taught to recognize human phrases and Google them accordingly. Now, the next Pokemon form of that seems to be ChatGPT, which, because of a fancy robot learning program called Transformers, the irony never sleeps, learns not just to translate human words into numbers and vectors because they're robots, but how human language works so they can actually understand what you're saying. Kind of like how Lego instructions show you where the pieces go and in what order they go. Life is Legos, man. That's the big answer to everything. There, I saved you a college degree. You're welcome. Now go get me some taquitos. Up until last year, chatbots were just doing math. Now, ChatGPT is actually learning what you mean, learning how to talk to you. Probably also data farming like everything else, but it's more fun. And unlike Alexa, it actually listens to your needs for once. Robots evolve faster. They grow like muffins in the good oven. ChatGPT is already in its awkward teen phase now, forging homework, writing code, drawing CGI fairy pics of people it has a crush on. It can write songs, poems, movies, to the point where it's freaking out the boomers more than their email's two-factor authentication. ChatGPT even tried to access Twitter's database to learn more about how people talk, but Dame Elon Musk was like, hey, this is for free speech only, which means you gotta pay. Irony is everywhere unless it isn't. What were we doing? And then, on January 20th, 2023, at the Jewish Center of the Hamptons, Senior Rabbi Josh Franklin asked a ChatGPT to write a sermon for his congregation to see if they would know the difference, and they did not. Now, are we looking at the future of rabbinobots as spiritual leaders? Maybe. Whatever, I knew they were coming since Futurama. They can party. The real fear, though, comes from the job search group Zippia, who estimated that 375 million jobs will become obsolete because of AI in the next decade. Woo! I hope you don't have one of those jobs. But technology always changes the game out there, people. You people were freaked out by bikes back in the day. I don't know why you're afraid of techs listening and talking back. You guys had Furbies back when, maybe you forgot. But the knowledge will always be yours, humans, from you and made by you. In the end, the purpose of knowledge is like having a GPS for life. It helps you navigate through the twists and turns of the daily challenges and avoids making the same mistakes as that one guy who thought Australia was a giant island of deadly animals. And if you're feeling lost, it's like having a trusty map and compass to guide you back on track. But the best part about knowledge is it's a bottomless bag of snacks for your brain, so you'll never be bored on the journey of life. At least that's what the ChatGPT told me today when I asked it, which is why I'm drinking. I love you. Good night. Shut the bar!